Right now at 10, two men are in custody in connection with the disappearance of a Springdale, Arkansas man after his body is discovered in Berry County. Plus, a Missouri man wrongfully convicted in 3 murders comes home to a new life. And also, although Thanksgiving is behind us, turkey is still on the mind of at least one local group. And a group in Pittsburgh sets up a party to help take care of some of your Christmas gifts.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the disappearance of a man from a Springdale, Arkansas apartment, according to officials with the Springdale Police Department. With the 2 suspects in custody, the search continued initially for 39-year-old Richard Phillips. Now, Phillips was last seen at the Peaks Apartments on Cooper Drive in Springdale on November 23rd. An investigation into his disappearance started after a witness told police Phillips was abducted from the apartment by a group of men. Officers spotted a trail of blood in the parking lot. Then yesterday, just before noon, a group of hunters discovered a body, which was later identified as Phillips, just north of Seligman, Missouri, in Berry County. Law enforcement determined that he died in Springdale, and his body is being sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab to determine his cause of death. Springdale police officials say following an extensive investigation, Reginald Baker of Seligman and Daniel Blanks of Fort Smith were named suspects in the case. Investigators learned the pair were staying in Tulsa and requested authorities in the area help bring the 2 men into custody. Both were arrested by the Tulsa Police Department without incident and will be transported back to Washington County in Arkansas. A man declared wrongfully convicted in 3 murders heads to a new life with lots of goodwill through donated funds. More than $1.4 million has been raised as of Saturday from a GoFundMe project for 62-year-old Kevin Strickland of Kansas City. Strickland was ordered released from prison on Tuesday by a Missouri Court of Appeals judge for a wrongful 1979 conviction and 3 killings in Kansas City. The judge ruled that evidence has since been recanted or disproved. Strickland has always maintained his innocence. The GoFundMe project will help Strickland's living expenses. It was a little bit chillier. You said it would be, Nick, but still sunny, though. Not bad.
Yeah, thankfully that part of the forecast lived up to expectations, Chris. It was a nice way to put a nice bow on this holiday weekend. But despite the chillier temperatures, we still had a good rebound after another cold start this morning. Mid-30s this morning, 34 to be precise at Joplin Regional. And bouncing back to 54 this afternoon. Both numbers pretty close to where we should be for a late November day. Throughout the course of the evening, though, we've seen some high cloud cover filter in from the north. Fortunately, that's the worst that our skies are going to get as we go throughout the course of the night. But I want to bring this to your attention, though. High pressure over Table Rock Lake, that's sliding to the east, and that's why we're starting to see that southerly wind really kick back into gear. It's going to stay light throughout the course of the night, but it will just do the trick to keep us in the upper 30s for overnight lows, with, again, passing cloud cover throughout the night. But plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. That southwest breeze really cranks into gear, pushing us back at least into the mid-60s for tomorrow, Chris. We'll see if this is Mild Trend S6 with us for the rest of the week here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Although Thanksgiving is behind us, one local group still has turkey on the brain. The Spring River Boat and Ski Club held one of their regular turkey shoots today. Organizers say it's a great way to connect with fellow club members.
This is our annual turkey shoots. We do them every year. Have done for probably 55 years, and this is one of our fundraisers we do to promote the club and support the club.
This is the last of the turkey shoots for this year. So many of us have begun the daunting task of buying Christmas gifts for family and friends, and for some of us, including me, that's the easy part. Well, thankfully, today, the Ambassadors Church in Pittsburgh got together to help with the not-so-easy part, wrapping. The group held a wrap party this afternoon to help folks take care of that wrapping part of the gift buying process.
This is something we haven't done before, so as a young adults group, we always like to get together and do fun things and get together and just have fun. And so this is another way, like for the holidays, I thought we could come together and do an outreach as well and have fun and get in the Christmas spirit.
Officials are hopeful the party brought a smile to those in need of some wrapping assistance. And we do take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Wayne Smith served in the Navy during World War II aboard the USS Sumter in the South Pacific. his hometown, Wyandotte. And we're proud to recognize Wayne Smith, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, if you'd like to learn more about some of our other heroes, or if there's one in your life you'd like to nominate, just head over to our website. It's KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 10, our Bronte Sorotsky takes a look at the Festival of Lights in our Connecting Communities segment. Welcome back. It's time now for another edition of Connecting Communities. Now, at sundown, that marked the first night of the Jewish Festival of Lights, otherwise known as Hanukkah. It's not Jewish Christmas or even one of the biggest Jewish holidays, but it is a time for Jewish people around the world to reflect on how far they've come as a group of people. KOAM's very own Bronte Sorotsky is a member of the Jewish community, so she sat down with Paul Teverow at the United Hebrew Congregation of Joplin to share what Hanukkah is all about.
On Sunday night, Jewish people around the world will light their menorahs, or Hanukkahs, commemorating the first night of Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights. But the holiday has a much deeper meaning.
Hanukkah commemorates events about 2,200 years ago, when Jews were under the domination of a Greek-speaking empire in Syria, and the ruler there, Antiochus, tried to impose different religious practices on the Jews and forbade them to practice some of their traditions. Starting around 165 BCE, the family of Mattathias the priest in Modin, town, I guess, about 30 miles northwest of Jerusalem, started a rebellion.
A small group of Jews, including a family of 8 brothers called the Maccabees, were among those rebelling.
And against all odds, this rebellion succeeded. And one of the signs of success is when they were able to capture Jerusalem and return the temple in Jerusalem. Hanukkah is a Hebrew word that literally means dedication. And they dedicated the synagogue, among other things, by relighting the menorah.
It's a holiday signifying a time when Jews persevered against all odds. When they tried to celebrate, they noticed their temple, or synagogue, where Jewish people worship, was badly damaged. They rededicated it. In fact, Hanukkah means rededication. They wanted to light their menorah to symbolize God's presence, and only had enough to last one night. By a miracle, it lasted 8.
That was supposed to last only for one day, lasted for 8 days. And so to this day, Jews celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days. And in some ways, the holiday is about oil. Food's cooked in oil. And it depends on what region of the world Jews come from. Jews from Mediterranean regions would sometimes eat a fried fritter, sweet fritter called buñuelos. Jews from Eastern Europe, where most Jews in America, their ancestors come from, would eat a potato pancake. The potato pancakes are in Yiddish called latkes.
But the main message of Hanukkah is more than lighting a menorah, eating latkes, or spinning dreidels.
The Jewish people, the Jewish religion survived against all odds. And I think that's the main message of Hanukkah.
It's why we say, Al Hanisim Ve'al HaPorkon, Ve'al HaDvurot, Ve'al HaShurot, Ve'al HaMilchamot Shista Lavotenu, Bayamin Hahem, Bazman Hazeh. Thank you for the miracles, for rescuing us, for the courageous acts you performed, for saving us, and for the battles you waged in defense of our ancestors and at this season. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KUAM News.
Bronte, thank you. As we mentioned, Hanukkah begins at sundown, and it's going to last until December the 6th. Later on the KOAM News at 10, it's Sunday, and while these guys are playing football, they did that Saturday. Later, though, we're going to tell you what the box office did, and I'm sure they're kind of curious, too.
Right now, we're curious about how our weather's shaping up. I can give you a quick preview. This high pressure scooting to the east tomorrow, kicking the southerly wind back into play. We're going to really warm things up. Breaking down the whole forecast when we come back. Thankfully, we kept things nice and quiet as we put a nice little bow on this holiday Thanksgiving weekend. Granted, it was a bit chillier compared to the temperatures from yesterday, but this view from indigo sky throughout the evening, throughout the day, pretty much throughout the entire weekend. This view outside of Seneca, Missouri was about as quiet as can be. Certainly good for those that had any outdoor activities this weekend. Certainly for all the holiday shoppers out and about, hopefully snagging some good deals. But a quick cold front as advertised did pass on through the other day. That took us from highs in the lower 60s at Joplin Regional the other day, down to the mid-30s this morning. Despite that, we had a light breeze out of the north and northwest in the afternoon, along with plenty of sunshine. That was certainly ample enough to send us back into the mid-50s for this afternoon. Still looking quiet from 7th and Range Line, even with cloud cover trying to stream in from the north. This view is going to stay quiet and dry as well as we continue throughout the rest of the night. But the quiet skies we had this morning, even with a little bit of cloud cover, still allowed temperatures to drop back into the mid and some upper 30s this morning. But thankfully, we saw temperatures really rebound into the mid-50s across much of the region. Once you work west of, I want to say US 59, that's where we saw some upper 50s popping up on the board. But ever since we've gone deep into this evening, we've seen temperatures hold steady, primarily in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Fortunately, this is pretty much the territory where we're going to stay throughout the course of the night. Reason why? That northerly breeze we had, a little light throughout the day, and still light now. Look how it's starting to switch out of the south. And there's a very good reason for that, even with some cloud cover passing in from the north. Note the clockwise swirl over Table Rock Lake. That's an area of high pressure. That's what's keeping us quiet for tonight. But as this slides to the east and we see a warm front continue to lift and pass north of the region, that's what's going to bring that southwest wind really back into gear tomorrow to send us back into mild territory. But I want to watch for a cold front to the north and west and a few upper waves as well to the north and west. That's going to change things up by Wednesday. But in the meantime, our weather is going to stay pretty quiet as we go through the next few days. Case in point, here's how we look for the rest of the night. Passing clouds at times through the overnight, but still that light southerly breeze keeps us in the upper 30s to near 40. That southwest breeze, though, really cranks into gear, certainly as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Couple that with, I want to say, plenty of sunshine. We're going to see temperatures very eager to jump back up. 38 in the morning, 60 by noon. Highs around 65 degrees. I think we can easily do that with the southwest wind for sure at 10 to 20 and even some gusts near 30 at times. That south breeze lightens up a bit as we go into tomorrow night and Tuesday morning, but only allows lows back in the lower 40s. And despite partly sunny skies again on Tuesday, I still think we'll have a mild day with highs in the lower to middle 60s. Quick wave once this pass on by on Wednesday, along with that cold front too. That could bring some mostly cloudy skies for Wednesday morning, maybe a few areas of drizzle. That's about it. We're mainly dry for Wednesday, keeping it quiet for Thursday and Friday with highs pushing near 70. But sticking with Doug's pattern, we got to watch for the next upper low to come at us from the southwest and a stronger front to come along with it. For Saturday and Sunday, that's going to be our next best shot for storms. And once we get beyond that system, we're going to really cool things down once we wrap up next weekend. But 65 tomorrow, 63 Tuesday, 61 on Wednesday. Well, temperature's a little cooler behind that passing front, but upper 60s to near 70 for Thursday and Friday, Chris. We better enjoy these numbers while they're here.
Absolutely. I mean, these numbers are certainly looking a lot better. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, they're not going to stay that way.
I know Doug's pattern's rarely wrong, so we better be ready for December-like temperatures come next week.
That is, I mean, it is coming into December. I guess we should be ready for it. Nick, thank you so much. Big news tonight in sports out of the Oklahoma Sooners football program.
Lincoln Riley has accepted a new head coaching position. Those details coming up. Plus, we'll hear from Webb City head coach John Roderick on the Cardinals' state semifinal win. That and more next. This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. After 5 seasons with the Sooners, head coach Lincoln Riley is leaving. Riley has accepted the head coaching job at USC. He replaces former USC coach Clay Helton, who was fired in September after 7 seasons with the Trojans. Riley leaves the Sooners program that he helped guide to 4 consecutive Big 12 titles and 3 college football playoff appearances. In his 5 years at Oklahoma, he had a 55-10 record. Well, prior to today's news of Riley's departure, the Sooners were focused on a huge conference game. Oklahoma on the road on Saturday for a top 10 matchup against rival Oklahoma State. This one with big implications, tie game in the second quarter. Brennan Presley on the return. A few close calls, but he blows by everybody. This is a 100-yard touchdown return. That building is going wild. And then there's another huge special teams play here. This time, Presley loses it. Justin Broyles scoops it up for the Sooners touchdown. What a wild game. Oklahoma leads 33-24. Fourth quarter, 2-point game here. Eric Gray this time muffs the punt. DeMarco Jones Jr. recovers. More costly mistakes. Cowboys take over on the 5, and then a few plays later, a 1-yard run for Jalen Warren. Cowboys take the lead. 14 seconds left in the game, 4th and 10. Colin Oliver gets the sack on Caleb Williams. Oklahoma State wins 37-33. That snaps a 6-game losing streak to Oklahoma, and the Cowboys earn a spot in the Big 12 championship. The Webb City Cardinals have more football to play this year. The Cardinals are headed to the state championship game, aiming for their 16th in program history. Webb City took down undefeated Jackson on Saturday, 35-21. The Cardinals played a dominant first half of football, highlighted by 3 rushing touchdowns from Cade Wilson. He finished with 4. Jackson fought its way back into the game, but the Webb City defense was just too good. They came up with a few huge 4th down stops. Head coach John Roderick praised the group's performance.
Oh, it played fantastic. I mean, this team averages 45, 50 points a game. What an outstanding effort by our guys. You know, we got to a point where they really probably tried to throw it more. They've kind of been, you know, like a lot of teams, they try to control the ball with the run game. But yeah, our defense has been just unbelievable here as of late.
In Class 2, the Tigers will get a shot at defending their title. Lamar won a 1-point game against Richmond on Saturday to advance to the state championship. Joel Beshore connected with Austin Wilkerson to put the Tigers up 21-14. That proved to be just enough to edge the Spartans and claim the victory.
It feels great. It never gets old, and you know, this group has earned it. They deserve it, and can't wait to get 6 more days of football with them. It's one game at a time, and right now our one game at a time is the last one. It's the big one. So we're going to do what we do. We're going to prepare like we always do, and put our kids in the best position possible to win a football game.
Both the Tigers and the Cardinals will play for the state championship this coming Friday in Columbia. Lamar will face Lutheran St. Charles at 3 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., Webb City is set to face Holt. In Kansas, Frontenac met Andale in the Class 3A state championship. An off day for the Raiders against a really good opponent. They just couldn't get anything going all day. Falling 53-0, Frontenac finishes their season as the state runner-up with a 10-3 record.
They're part of my family for the rest of my life. Special group of kids, especially those seniors, but especially just the way they came together as a group from freshmen all the way to seniors. It was special. It was fun to be around. You have nothing to say to them after a game. Everybody's hurting, and you feel for them. But yeah, it goes way past football. I know they're hurting right now, but they'll look back at this season and remember how special it was.
That brings us to our one and only break in the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Still ahead, the Kansas Jayhawks aim to bounce back after their first loss of the season. Welcome back to the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. The number 4 ranked Kansas Jayhawks are looking to get back on track today after their first loss of the season against Dayton on Friday. Kansas hits the floor against Iona at the ESPN Events Invitational. Late in the first half, Christian Brown with the steal, throws it down on the other end. Jayhawks up by 22. Brown again takes it coast to coast. He gets 18 on the day. Then right before the break, Brown throws up the alley-oop. Ochai Agbaji for the dunk. Kansas leads 46-31 at half. 2 minutes left in the game. Remy Martin to KJ Adams for the slam. Kansas wins 96-83. Arkansas in action today against Penn. 2-point game. Nice spin move. JD Note gets the layup. One more look at this one. And still in the first, Audice Tony drives to the net, plus the foul. It's a 3-point play. Arkansas up by 11. Second half, Stanley Amude throws down the dunk. Razorbacks pulling away. Then Note, here he is again. He drops 28 points. Arkansas stays perfect, beating Penn 76-60. Major League Soccer Sporting Kansas City hosts the Western Conference semifinal this afternoon against Real Salt Lake. Sporting KC strikes first, but Real Salt Lake pulls off a huge comeback. They scored the game winner in stoppage time to knock off Sporting Kansas City. We're back right after this.
Well, this weekend saw the first animated movie this year to debut exclusively in theaters. So, how did it fare at the box office? David Daniel has some early estimates for this weekend's top 5 films.
Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City debuted in 5th place, taking in $5.3 million. Eternals fell to 4th place, but $7.9 million pushed the Marvel movie past $150 million domestic total. House of Gucci opened in 3rd, grossing $14.2 million from Friday to Sunday and $21.8 million in its first 5 days. Ghostbusters Afterlife lost the title in its sophomore weekend, though $24.5 million gave it a 10-day domestic total of $88 million. Encanto sang and danced its way to a first-place debut. The animated musical made $27 million from Friday to Sunday and $40.3 million in its first 5 days in theaters. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Each weekend, there are some great new movies out there to check out, and this forecast is looking pretty good to get out there and check them out.
Yeah, especially if you could get in the outdoor screenings, because temperatures certainly look pretty good. 65 tomorrow. We'll stay mainly lower to middle 60s through the middle of the week. Briefly near 70 by Thursday, but then we're going to really shake things up, sticking with Doug's pattern with our next stronger storm system by Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. That is our time for now. Thank you so much for making us part of your night.